In honor of National Autism Acceptance Month, I have made this video detailing things that I wish I knew when I was younger. I, like the majority of autistic people, experienced ongoing harassment and manipulation throughout my school years. I didn't know how to recognize the ways that my peers were causing me harm, and I suffered greatly because of it. As an adult, I've developed guidelines for making friends, a list of things to look out for, and behaviors to avoid. I've organized them into 6 different false friend types, which I've specifically made a bit whimsical because that's what works best for me, and which I will share with you in hopes of helping others like me avoid bad situations. But before I begin, I'd like to clarify the behaviors I'm about to list do not automatically make someone a bad person or equate to them deserving poor treatment. In fact, the actions of each type of false friend can be explained by things like mental illness, trauma, and abuse. Furthermore, most people who fit into these categories don't realize what they're doing, or at the very least, aren't specifically trying to ruin someone's life. Oftentimes, nothing they do has anything to do with you. It instead has everything to do with them. Of course, that in no way negates the ways in which their behavior hurts people. It's an explanation, but it's not an excuse. And so this video is simply about things I've had to learn the hard way because I'm autistic and my social cues are very lacking. These guidelines were made with years of therapy and have been crucial to securing my safety and improving my mental health. I may not be a professional, but I still want to help others do the same. Starting off, we have the vampire. This is a well-known type of toxic person, because I believe it to be the most common of the false friends. Perhaps this is because humans as a whole seem to struggle with purpose and self-comfort. The vampire doesn't know who they are and is unable to find worth from within themselves. This causes them to interact with people in a way that drains them until they have nothing left to give. A vampire is prone to oversharing and ignoring boundaries. They may even attempt to make others feel guilty for needing space. They tend to lack interest in your life and don't care what you have to say, rarely asking questions or checking up on you. Vampires often make you feel emotionally exhausted and unimportant. In the early stages of friendship, a vampire will make it seem like you're uniquely trustworthy or special by sharing vulnerable information, usually trauma. Do not fall for this, especially if you're a naturally empathetic person. It is a trap. Next up is the thief. Possibly just as common as the vampire, the thief is insecure and thus envious of others, especially people who are secure in themselves and know their own value. A thief will pretend to care about you, often for months or years or even decades, but eventually they will turn on you at your most vulnerable. Thieves give themselves away in how they copy the people that they envy. They also have a tendency to belittle, finding ways to put you down for things that a true friend would compliment or congratulate. Especially when they're alone with you, they seem to hold an air of overenthusiasm. This is to hide their true intentions, kind of like overcompensation for their insincerity. A thief makes you feel disheartened, and the way that their eagerness to stay your friend contradicts their hurtful words and actions will cause you ongoing inner conflict. Keep this in mind. They only get close to you so that when they stab you in the back, it scars. It can be a natural thing for friends to share interests and adopt one another's behaviors or styles to a certain extent. However, a thief will never acknowledge what they've copied from you. A thief will try to outdo you or make it seem like what you're doing is wrong for you and right for them. Keep being yourself regardless. Number 3 is the shapeshifter. Thieves and shapeshifters often partner up, not only because of the type of people they tend to target, but also because when they work together, they can arrange their betrayals to happen at the same time, which deepens the impact and increases whatever twisted satisfaction they get from it. The shapeshifter acts one way around you and another way behind your back, eventually dropping their facade and treating you badly to your face. As with thieves, this may stem from deep insecurity or jealousy, Also, similarly, the facade can be maintained for long periods of time. The shapeshifter must lie in order to do so. That's the first sign to look for. Shapeshifters are usually somewhat secretive and may avoid or even leave you out at times. Lack of communication is also a red flag. Shapeshifters make you feel rejected, which makes you sad. Pay close attention to the emotions you experience when you are with them versus how you feel in the company of a true friend or a loved one. For example, shapeshifters exclude you from things that a friend should include you in. They may lie about it if confronted, or make excuses, or apologize. But eventually, the lies add up. Don't let them. For number 4, we have the puppeteer. Now, the puppeteer stands alone. They are different from other false friends because their goal isn't to hurt you, but rather to isolate and control you, which, does also hurt you. Puppeteers feel a lack of control over their life somehow, whether that be no self-control, the inability to do what they want, or the absence of something they cannot create themselves. Because of this, they develop a need to control others. A puppeteer will manipulate and gaslight you until eventually a traumatic bond has been formed. In other words, puppeteers enact the cycle of abuse. This can be summarized by idealizing, devaluing, discarding, repeat. But even the most experienced puppeteers can be stopped before establishing the cycle, because it is pitifully predictable. Look for love bombing. This is a sure way to tell if someone may be a puppeteer. If it's followed by false promises, not taking accountability, if you feel confusion, if you feel shame, leave. Just leave. It is not worth the manipulation that follows. Never fall for the love bombing. Never respond to inflammatory statements. Never put up with cruelty and manipulation. Never put on the strings. There is no way to win a game with a puppeteer. Next is the saint. Like the puppeteer, the saint longs for control. The specificality here, however, is that saints need to control how they are seen. And their situation is possibly the most complex, because the things that they do aren't only done to you, but to everyone. The saint has to be viewed as perfect by those around them, so that their sense of self can be maintained. They will do just about anything to keep this facade. Some saints work their entire lives to curate their outward perfection, valuing the opinions of community members and co-workers over their own family and loved ones. As a consequence, those close to the saint often feel frustrated and unheard. A saint will always make excuses if they feel someone is claiming that they have done wrong. If excuses don't work, gaslighting or blaming or manipulating others might. And saints never hesitate because the facade of perfection is all that matters to them. So, when they do you wrong, any confrontation you may attempt is like the equivalent of you doing that exact thing right back to them. You cannot resolve conflict with a saint since they are incapable of admitting their mistakes. And if you continue trying to do so, they will lie and turn others against you. Be the bigger person and walk away. And finally, the actor. The puppeteer and the saint share a desire to control something, but the actor believes that they can never have control over anything. Peace makes the actor uncomfortable, usually due to being raised in a chaotic environment. And so they must create chaos. They live a life in disarray, full of drama and disorder and even danger. Something is always wrong in an actor's life, and there never seems to be a way to fix it. Even the smallest problem somehow becomes a mountain of issues. You can catch actors over-dramatizing or bending the truth. They may lie to cause problems and exaggerate to get reactions. They will ask you for advice, but never take it. You might find yourself feeling worried and upset or disrupted. Being friends with an actor often puts you in uncomfortable positions. You may end up being the judge of a situation that has nothing to do with you, or worse, you can become unwillingly put into the situation. Avoid giving your opinion and instead stick to short, rehearsed responses, such as, "I'm sorry to hear that. I hope it gets better," and "hang in there." Listening to someone's problems is one thing, but keep in mind that a true friend would never actually involve you. Thank you for watching. I hope this helped you in some way, and I hope you enjoyed watching me make more art.